I'm going to share bits and pieces of my story with you. And my hopes is that for anybody who's watching who has ever experienced discrimination in any form, any type of way, that my story gives you a little bit of encouragement to keep moving on and keep persevering, and don't allow the words that people try to instill in your head become the product of who you become. So growing up, I was emotionally and physically abused. I grew up in a home where I was the darkest of my siblings. And from as young as 4, I remember being told I was too black. I didn't really understand what that meant. Um, but one specific incident that happened, I remember my mom had just finished beating me for an unjustifiable reason. She held my head up to the mirror. She told me to look at myself and said, and asked me if I see how ugly I look when I cry. Um, she often told me that my gums were too black. So when I would smile at people, I would hold my mouth like that because I didn't want people to see how ugly I look and how black my gums were. Not only did I experience racism within the home, I went to an elementary school in the East End. And at the time, my family was the only Black family at that school. And I tried to get along with my white school kids, and they would ask to touch my hair. And I would think that would be a way to get in closer to them. And they would touch my hair, and instead they would pull it, laugh at me. And I just internalized that as I will never be nothing. I felt like I'll never be loved, I'll never be liked, I'll never be beautiful, I'll never be worthy of looking at. Growing up into my adult life, I graduated high school, and that was the first time that I really felt like I was a somebody and that I could be a somebody. I then went to university, and I found out that my credit had been abused, completely used, and I wouldn't be eligible for OSAP or any financial loans. That was a setback that I had to experience. I went into every bank, doors were closed in my face. I therefore had to work 3 jobs in order to pay my university tuition. I got the setback when I paid my university tuition. I managed to get to my 3rd year. Then I hit a setback when I became a stereotype, which was a single Black female pregnant. I had my daughter in my 4th year, and I still was able to graduate university. At that moment, I finally felt like everything is coming together. The insecurities that I grew up as a child, feeling that I'll be a failure and I'll never amount to anything, I finally buried that and thought that I'm going to be somebody for my daughter, and I will never let her feel like her Black is not ugly and she's not worthy. When I graduated university, I was working a really good job. I was making great money. And then I got into a car accident. I was in a 7-car accident. I was unconscious at the scene. I became a chronic binge eater in the process. And I decided enough is enough. I looked at my daughter. I changed my whole life around, and I lost 105 pounds in 5 months. It's literally at that moment that I revisited everything from my past and feeling like no one will ever look at me, feeling like I will never be nothing, feeling like because I'm Black, I will never succeed in life, feeling like I will never be able to stand up against anybody else in my field. I decided to let all that go and go full force into the goals I had set for myself. I wanted to become a personal trainer, but I had no place to train. I decided to train in my apartment stairwells at Jane and Finch. Training in the stairwells at first was very embarrassing. My pride was shot. I was made fun of. I experienced lots of racial slurs, and a lot of people made fun of me online. And I remember feeling like that 4-year-old kid once again, just feeling like a failure. But this time my daughter was watching me. I managed to post and promote my services. I prayed like crazy, and I got my first client in the stairwells. I transformed women from the base, and I created the 30-day transformation program. From there, I saved up all my coins that I had, and I decided to reach out to a realtor and purchase my own gym. I went to at least 12 different studios, and when I called them, to tell them that I'm coming to the clinic, they were very excited.
Shontelle, your sound is going away.
Can you guys hear me?
For some reason, the sound is acting up. Oh, so it's so good, so good.
Are we good right now?
It's better than before, but could be better.
Okay. What if I yell? I'll try and talk loud. Um,
Okay.
so I yeah, so when I wanted to purchase a gym for myself, and I wanted to leave the stairwells at Jane and Finch, I would call and book an appointment, and everyone would be so excited to show me their unit. And as soon as I showed up as myself, all of a sudden the unit was no longer available and nobody wanted to rent to me. I felt like I will never make it in this lifetime and I'd always have to train in the stairwells. I literally had to call on a male and a non-black person to come with me. And my last sighting that I saw, I finally got my own gym. So I now reside in my own gym. I am a sold out personal trainer. I have a waiting list of 1,500 people and my products are doing really well. And my story, I hope if anybody is watching who experiences any racism, discrimination, for anything that it is you're going through. I was told I was ugly and I was too black by my own mom and by peers outside of that. And what I decided to do was to take off every single dart that people were throwing at me, left, right, and center. I took off all the darts, I broke it in half, and I said, no, I am going to be what I want to be, and I'm not going to allow what people try to put in my head to bring me down because of their insecurities to dictate how my future is going to go. So I held my head high, like I always tell people, and I went straight for my dreams, and now I'm living it. So thank you so much.